What is parental alienation and what does the law do about it? Hi, I'm Simon Dippenaar and I'm a family attorney. Parental alienation is not always easy to identify or detect. After any relationship breakdown, there is often an element of acrimony and resentment, and it can be very hard for parents, however hard they try, to avoid voicing negative thoughts about each other to their children. But most get past the initial hurt and go on to have a reasonably amicable relationship. Most parents acknowledge that children benefit from loving relationships with both parents and suffer harm from witnessing angry discourse or emotional abuse. Children often blame themselves for problems between their parents, so a peaceable truce is the best way forward after a divorce. This is the ideal, but it's an ideal that is not always achieved. In reality, parents may continue to fight long after the divorce is settled. They may use the children as weapons in their battles. They may denigrate the other parent in front of the children. Because this behavior is so common, it can be hard to discern when a bit of bad-mouthing turns into parental alienation. Parental alienation is the psychological manipulation of a child in an attempt to disown the other parent. The target of alienation is the other parent, but the victim is always the child. I mean to dismiss the pain suffered by the alienated parent. Being cut off from one's child is devastating, but ultimately it is emotional child abuse. Unfortunately, it is often not recognized or acknowledged in child custody disputes. Alienation is not just criticism of one parent by the other in an attempt to pit the child against the other parent. It can be as extreme as denial of access and even of paternity, which is what happened to our father in Joburg. The man, who is identified only by a pseudonym, said, "I've lost a lot, friends, career, house, and at times my mind, it sets you adrift in seas of emotional chaos." According to a social worker, the alienator is generally driven by revenge, abandonment, insecurities, or a belief they are a better parent, the other does not deserve to have the child. The alienated parent is frequently angry and aggressive because they fear they are never going to see the child again. The alienator aims to destroy the parent-child bond until their objective is achieved, when the child outwardly rejects the parent and aligns themselves with the alienating parent and refuses to have contact. Now, Howard Watson, co-founder of South Africa's Parental Alienation Foundation, says, "The emotionally manipulative behavior is not reliant on gender, and although more prevalent in mothers, fathers are far from innocent." Now, unfortunately, in South Africa, the Justice Department does not recognize parental alienation. Watson says South African courts do not necessarily have the necessary skill or the appetite to effectively deal with parental alienation. Now, Section 35 of the Children's Act is one route. This makes the refusal of access to child or rejection of parental responsibilities a crime, except the police tend not to investigate Section 35 crimes because they view them as a civil matter. Now, what does parental alienation do to a child? It can lead to low self-esteem and self-loathing, depression, hatred for the alienated parent, substance abuse, inability to form lasting relationships, anger and aggression. The parent is left grieving and the child is left permanently damaged. If you're worried that your ex-spouse may be alienating your child against you, don't ignore the situation. You can give me a call and we can discuss your options. The details are in the signature below.